So I'm gonna shut up and pay attention. So consider this like a taste of like what a lesson would be like, because a lot of the times when I do lessons, and anyone that's in the chat that has done a lesson for me, I really try and do it personalized to the one person that is signed up for it or whatever. So if I'm playing against a person, I try and find something that that person in particular struggles against, and I really try and pick that apart when we're playing. You know, I'll if I see one thing's working, I'll kind of, okay, I'm gonna, you know, poke at this a little bit more and just see if I can get this person to, you know, find a way around this or that kind of thing. So in the sense of, you know, Kitana's zoning, for example, yes, her fan does recover fairly quickly. So the first thing that I'd say, that almost every say, is there's absolutely no reason to never just neutral duck against Kitana in this range. So if you're struggling with this range here, just neutral duck. Make sure you're not actually blocking the fan, because if you're blocking the fan, you're going to be taking not only chip damage, but you're also against you know, taking chip damage too. She has no overhead option here outside of going into her little this thing, doing that. Well, that's the mid, so even then you don't have to worry about it. Teleports the mid, so you don't have to worry about it. So if your problem is that she just is throwing fans at you, then just make sure, first of all, that you're neutral blocking. And if she starts enhancing it, because the second one is a mid, remember that she can only do that twice, but she does build her meter back fairly quickly. You can see by looking at the bottom corner that yes, yeah, fairly more than like most EX attacks would. So if she's doing that, just keep in mind that she only has to do it twice, and then her meter's gone. So this is why you want to pay more attention to meter, because now she's sitting there and she has to, if she's going to zone you, she's going to do it with this, and she has to wait for that meter to come back. So sometimes it's worth just sitting back and just waiting for her to spend the meter, and then as soon as she has no meter, you know, okay, well now she has to either hard commit to something, you know, like the teleport or like the Psy, you know, where this, and especially when you get to this range with Baraka, it becomes a lot easier to take advantage of the regular fan, because you don't have to worry about the second mid hitting you. So that is probably the first thing that I would say to kind of combat her zoning. And like, because if you neutral duck this, like say you're full screen, you can neutral duck this, move in, block, move in, block, move in, block, whatever. Just being aware of that. And then you kind of get to this range here with Baraka. Toasty. And this range here with Baraka is his most dangerous zone. Now, you don't want to just rely on forward 4. You also want to use your back 2. You want to use your command grab, because command grab is fairly quick. You have to be a little bit closer. So make sure that you know your spacing a little bit with the command grab, and you know, you don't kind of abuse it. But, you know, key number 1, wait till she doesn't have the meter, and then kind of start to close in this range. And you will always have the advantage, because back 2, which is one of her most farthest reaching normals, doesn't quite hit you. So if you see her throw that out, what you can do is you can start to walk backwards, outspace her, and wait for your opportunity to kind of whiff punish her. So that would be tip number 1. If you're playing a Kitana that's using a lot of this, first off, if you're full screen, not really a whole lot you can do about it. I would just kind of flawless block. Practice your flawless block timing on that. They can mix it up, so be careful. And then this doesn't jail into that, unless you're like right in her face. And Kitana isn't really going to do that. So just keep in mind, that does not jail into that. So you can flawless block the mid, and then just duck that. So, and the teleport is a little bit of a different beast, and that's a little bit more character dependent, because if she does the teleport and then cancels into the fan afterwards, you can't interrupt that. There is a way. I haven't labbed it with Baraka, so I don't 100% know how to punish it with Baraka. But I know Cetrion can just anti-air her after she blocks that and get a full combo punish. I'm assuming Baraka can probably do something, but I don't exactly know what, so I don't really want to say. I can see if I can lab something real quick after we're done here, and maybe I'll add it on to this. But As far as zoning with Baraka, I hope, did that kind of answer your question? I'm not 100% sure if I maybe kind of went too much on a tangent or not, but I'll wait for a response here before I exit and end the stream, because I hope I gave you some questions. Yes, like the thing is, like, there's not a and people are, I get into this conversation all the time. People are like, oh yeah, well, if you do this, then yes, she can just do this, and it's like, well, yes, like there's no this option beats absolutely everything. There is a player aspect to it, and you have to understand that yes, they have options, but being aware of their options, and then you just play against the player that's playing that character and understand what is this one person willing to do in this situation. And once you start to read that, like maybe you start to get in here and this person starts to panic and they always jump. Well, and because that's like, this is perfect jump range. Like this is why I'm so good at anti-airs, because I seem to like hit this like thing in my head where as soon as I get to this position, I'm like, okay, they're gonna jump at some point. And most of the time I'm just ready for it because I'm just so used to being in this area and them jumping. But, you know, you have to read the player. If you are Baraka and you move in here, and this character is just playing neutral, maybe, you know, moving in to try and get you to bait something. Both these characters have a great walk speed, so they could totally do that. You have to be aware of that and read that in that player that you're playing. Not so much just 100% worrying about the tools that the character has. Being aware of the tools that the character has, but also being aware of how that particular player uses them is super important. So, okay, so here's the response problem I run into is they get a life lead, then run back and chuck fans and size, so I can't wait out for the mid. Okay, so that is a problem that I've referred to this a few times, is in, they say it in Jiu-Jitsu a lot, is don't find yourself in that situation to begin with. If they get the life lead, then you've already kind of put yourself in an inferior position. Right off the bat, if they get the life lead by zoning, hopefully these tips will help you not lose the life lead by zoning. But if they get life lead by other means, then you need to understand what those other means are and try to correct it. So I've given you the tools to deal with the zoning, but if you're having issues with the actual Kitana matchup and like the strings and stuff, that's something a little bit different. And if they're getting the life lead by rushing you down and doing strings, Baraka should not be losing the life lead because that's where he excels. So if you're letting Kitana get the life lead by rushing you down, you need to understand her strings a little bit more, know where the flawless block gaps are, know where the punishes are, because the zoning wouldn't really be your problem because her zoning isn't that strong. It's strong if she has a life lead for sure, but you don't want to find yourself in a spot where you lose the life lead to begin with. So, does that kind of make sense? They usually walk backwards, which makes my advancing normals whiff. And that makes sense. So, here's something to keep in mind. If they're always walking backwards and they're making your advancing normals whiff, you're not spacing them properly. But think about this. Every time that they're walking backwards, they're putting themselves closer to the corner where Baraka does ridiculous damage. So, if they continually walk backwards, they're going to have to engage with you at some point. So if they're just walking backwards and like whiff punishing you, then just just walk forward, block, walk forward, block. And let them walk backwards. Let them walk to the corner. And then, you know, they walk themselves into the corner. And now what? They're going to throw fans at you with the risk of eating 500 damage? I don't think so. So just be patient. Let them walk themselves back to the corner and just be like, and then you can hang out probably, I would say about here-ish, maybe a little bit farther back, and like your move, yeah, because back two is one of her best options. So there, that would be the sweet spot, I'd say, you know, and you kind of back and forth, and your move. You're gonna just keep throwing fans. I could jump at you if I wanted to, start a whole combo, get 500 damage, and then you get one chance to air escape, and then what? She's toast. So if they keep walking back, trying to, you know, whiff punish your forward advancing moves, A, it means that you're not spacing your moves properly, and B, just be patient and let them walk themselves to the corner. Then it's your game. Totally. True story, patience, keep life close, and welcome back to corner. Gotta learn big scary boy combos. Well, here's an easy one for you. See if I can land it first try. You can start it off back 3-1 or 1-1-2. 1-1-2 is good, especially if you mix up standing one, because that's what's called an auto shimmy. So they pretty much have to guess whether you're going to do standing one throw or whether you're going to do this whole string here. Standing 4, 1, 1, 2. I'm not going to do that because it's going to crushing blow, and I'd like to put this on YouTube. It's free advice. So, yeah. Anyways, I really hope that helped you out. You can always hit me up on Twitter or whatnot, or join the Patreon if you want. We can do one-on-one lesson, and I can help you with more things that are more specific to your actual issues. So, thanks to everyone that joined the stream tonight. It wasn't a huge turnout, but the video game awards are happening, so I understand that. That was my bad on poor planning. Didn't really look into that. So, thank you so much. Hope I helped. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and we will see you real soon. Next stream is this Saturday at same time, 6:30 p.m. PST, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you then.